Brian Parent from Trollwerks. Just sharing a quick video today. Talk about the Harlot kits that we sell on the website. You know, sometimes there'll be some small issues, especially first time builders that you might run into. So the idea behind this is to address some of those issues. First, got to go through some of the different options you have when you're building the Harlots. And for the standard options, you got a couple different types of breech faces. Okay, and you have with some of our newer stuff, some better options for the your breech face metal support. This, the newest options you got a washer, a little bit thicker, a little bit sturdier metal than the usual dimes. Okay, and those are going out with the kits that have come out in the last couple of months. This I took this apart to figure out the weight. Didn't grab the extra weight from work the other day. But this one has got the dime in there. Okay, so pretty much pretty standard. That's the one you can draw out yourself. I mean, you can buy a washer, whatever. But these washers, of course, they already come with the kits and everything else you need. Then we have the 3D printed breech with no support, no washer, nothing on there. And a lot of people have gotten quite a few shots out of those. I had one blow up and smack me across the forehead. So it's up to you what you get. But I do feel like there's more of a risk of it coming apart. And of course, there's always, although low, possibility of it causing injury, especially to the eye. So at a minimum, always wear eye pro whenever test firing these things. Eye pro, gloves, the basics. More to the point, some of you, the barrel options, okay, a couple versions. So I really like this one because this piece right here, so if that latch breaks, you can just reprint it and it only takes a few minutes. Even if you got a really slow printer, looking at maybe 10 minutes of print time. Okay, so when you put that together, it's just a small spring. If you're doing it without the kit, like a pin spring, you just push that in, and then while you're holding it, put that screw in. So no big deal. Unfortunately, I can't show you how to do the entire build, but the good thing, one of the many good things about this is I don't have to. You've already done most of the build yourself whenever you hit print. Okay, so you got all your parts. Both sides, there's all kinds of options for these. I got, let's see. That was in carbon fiber. So, it looks like that. That's the color. But that kit isn't directly on the website. So if you want to do the rifle kit, you're gonna have to send a message, and then we'll quote a price for you. But for the most part, it's just a couple more screws, and the full 16-inch barrel. So no serious changes. It's not in any way more difficult than any other build you might want to do. But it folds up, and then you can maybe take it apart, put your backpack or whatever, go shoot some rabbits, or use it as like your personal survival rifle. It definitely has some uses that you're not going to get out of this short barrel. Right. Most of you are building things with the standard spring or plastic spring right here. This you can use a pin spring, and this is going to be on Bush Viper mods on Odyssey. So you got a hole right there, and then you got a hole here, and then you can put a metal spring in there. If you don't want to, you want to use the usual plastic, hey, it's fine. Do what you want. I just kind of like this. I feel like it lasts a little bit longer because those plastic springs kind of thin, and You know, I don't expect this to last that long, anyways. But if you can add a little bit more longevity to it, or with the little spring that you probably pulled out of a random pin in your house, then you know why not. One of the other things I have here is I've modded the triggers. So it's kind of hard to see the difference there. But this one, I took a little bit of material off here. And then you see this little piece is a little bit thicker. And then, you know, that's for the half cock. A lot of people argue with you about like, oh, the half cock rig is not great. Like, it works perfectly, or it doesn't work because the printer sucks. Whatever is the case, I don't care. I was having some issues getting this thing to lock back. So I did that so you get a little bit more space for it to go forward. So right here, with being back just that little bit, sometimes, so get a better view. Sometimes you have issues getting that to lock back. So adding that little bit of space allows you to push forward just a little bit more. And then, at least in my opinion, that allows that to lock back a little bit better. And then, you know, fires, good to go. So like this is a lot more reliable. Some of the builds initially, when I was doing them, you know, I squeezed the trigger and I was like just death grip, pulling the crap out of the trigger and it's not firing. Okay. And part of that spring may have been a little bit too heavy. Just one of the points of this video. Of course, spring's a little bit too heavy. Not that big of a deal. You know, clip one leak at a time off there, and then try it again until it's to your liking. And don't do too many at once because you might go too far and need a new spring. And if you got some of our kits, a lot of times we use like the Glock springs, a little bit more expensive than a normal spring, but they're really strong. They last a long time, no more reliable. So, some of you, whenever you're getting your kit, you're doing your build, you got your UFA weights. A lot of people are doing builds without using these weights. Whether you use it or not, it's on you. But just know that there's a law that says you have to have enough metal in there to be detected by metal detector. And the general guidelines we have on that is 3.7 ounces. These are over 3.7 ounces. You have that in addition to the screws, the barrel, and you get a little more weight. You get the point. Those recommend you use some JB Weld. Put those in. So I usually use this 2-part. It's rather inexpensive. But get that in there. It's probably not going to come out anyways. You just about have to. If I'm trying to recycle it after doing something like this, I'll get a strong magnet and put it on there and it pulls right out. Because it gets kind of caught on the sides otherwise. Let's see. Should have a hammer around here somewhere. Tap that in place. I'm not going to waste too much time searching around for that too much. So. There we go. It's in place. You get ready to put these together. When I first started doing it, I was pushing all these parts in, trying to slam this thing in, and having all kinds of issues. The spring's pushing things around. A little bit annoying, right? So, what I suggest you do, for one, I like to take all of my nuts and tap them in there. That way, they're already kind of in place. That's one less thing to worry about. Now, some of these we're pushing a little bit further. That, I just take a punch. I'll set that flat somewhere. Just push them in. You can tap them with something, but don't go too hard. This is still plastic. Right, and I'll put those in place. And I'll get this here. Put that in place. Get this side. Now you can do the barrel too, but just depending on what kind of mood I'm in, I'll wait till last. Alright, I got those screws partially pushed in there already. Going most of, well, and this one's going most of the way through. This one's going part of the way through. Using a regular Allen wrench, it's a little annoying. Something like one of these, or even more like an electric screwdriver, speed things up. Part of the point of doing these kind of things, at least for me, it's relaxing, something I enjoy doing. So you don't always want to rush it. Like you put an AR-15 together, 3 minutes later, you're done. It's kind of boring, right? So it's one of the reasons we do these things. That one. When you're doing this, make sure you're not over tightening them. That'll cause you a problem later too, especially these ones right here. You go to cock it back and it's not locking back in place. It might just be too tight. So sometimes you can adjust these a little bit. And you got a piece here. You got the spring. That normally you can use spring out of a pen or something. I don't have a lot of pens laying around, so I made it out of some wire. I'll do another video later on making springs and tempering your springs. It's one of the things people miss when they're making their springs. They don't temper them, and to temper it, all you really have to do is put it in like a toaster oven at 450 degrees for about 30 minutes. Do it a little less if you want to, but you don't want to overdo it. Or maybe you do. I don't really know if it makes that big difference, but it's probably not a great idea. This is just music wire. I bought this for something else, but it's a little thinner than what I wanted to use it for. So, I'm making smaller springs and just generally just like 20 bucks. And that's a lot of wire. Okay, so make sure you're getting the size you need. I didn't, and now I'm stuck with wire that's not as useful as I would like. But for that, all I did was took a punch, held one end with a vise, and they just wrapped it around there, and then cut the size, put in the toaster oven. If you use like a silver wire, it'll turn black. Kind of tells you the composition's changed a little bit. But enough on springs. So I got that in there, and whenever I put this in here, line up that spring. See, it's going right up in there. And my other spring here, right? It's going to be hard to see. I make sure that's lined up. All right. If you have trouble, sometimes you can push it in with a punch or something. Once you get that into place, all right, the spring is going to put some pressure on there and move it around a bit. But find your screws, and I got screws all over the place here because that's what I do. But take it, you kind of push it part of the way in there. Yeah, now it's kind of holding itself in place. You get your other one. Kind of get started on there. You can tap these all the way through, but sometimes it seems a little easier. Go ahead and start screwing them through there. And as you're screwing them, a lot of times they'll pop them wherever they're caught, and they'll push the rest of the way through it. So you put a little bit of pressure on it. My dog's over here chewing on something, hopefully nothing important. See, yeah, push through a little bit more. Screwing that in. Eventually you'll feel it catch the threads. Alright. Don't want to overdo it. Yeah, just push that down. our barrel. Stick it right there. It's like my nut fell off somewhere, so I'm gonna have to grab another one. Not a problem. Let's reach over to my random pile here because I do a lot. Actually, no, nut did not fall out. So I just get to look a little stupid today, but that's fine. Put that in. Sheet on it, tighten it, check it. Yeah, this feels a little tight, right? So back it off one, moves freely, lock in place, locks back, no issues. So yeah, locked back immediately. So instead, at least from my experience, I had issues getting that to lock back, so that's why I started messing with trigger designs. I came up with a lot of crazy stuff that was really ridiculous, and then simplified it with this. So spend that time bushwhacking mods on Odyssey. Fires, no issues. Something else I like. Now, if you're gonna be making a bunch of these and you don't want to buy the kits, yeah, as long as you're building guns, we're all for it. Like, we're not in this business simply for the money. Like me and the owner are both retired veterans. We make enough money with or without your contribution. But the more sales we get, the easier it's going to be for us to expand the business. We start selling more kits, maybe even open up a storefront, and distance drill helps serve the community a little more. All right, don't buy the kits, things like this. It's from Black Lotus Coalition. Files on Odyssey. This thing works really well. I've used welding wire for this. A lot of people use the thicker music wire. You can experiment with a little bit. If you want to make smaller springs, you can do like, say, half size, or like 50% on your scale, and make that bigger, smaller, whatever you need to do. Use different size nuts, and then you can make the springs really well with that. Got another video I'm getting ready to edit to kind of show you better how to put your barrel liners in there. Just a quick rundown of that. Like, this is the COVID-22. We don't have the kits for this. If you want to see the kits, let us know. I'm working on some redesigns to where our weights will fit in the grips, because right now, the way these are built, there's not much room for UFA weight. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to put enough weight in there to make that 3.7 ounces. And we want to make sure everybody's nice and legal. So before we sell kits, we will always make sure that everything in there is compliant. With the metal breech face in those as well, we should be able to get those made up. There's your blank here, but if we start selling these kits, we will have metal breech faces for you, so you don't have to worry about it. But run down here, you get a drill bit, just barely bigger than that hole for your Harlots. The Harlots, whatever kit you're building, these liners won't quite fit in there without drilling it out. Some of you are beating the crap out of it with hammers. Stop doing that. Like, whenever you're doing that, and when you dry fine, you see I dry fire that thing, right? You see that little indentation right there? You're gonna have to fix that. We have the tools, in our shops to fix it. Not everybody does. So you can take a file and you can file the top of that right there just a little bit, or you can take a drill bit that just barely goes in there and just touch on it, and you should get rid of that indentation. There's another tool specific for 22s. I can't think of the name of it. I'll try to look that up, remember what it is. But there's this rod that you can stick in 22 barrels that repairs damage. More specifically for like if you have a barrel chamber for 22 long and you're finding there's 22 shorts out of it, you're going to cause damage to your barrel. So you get that in there. It's not going to go quite as far. So with the powder and everything comes out, it causes damage to the inside of your chamber, resulting in issues like your rounds not fitting. They're getting stuck more often. That's what it is. So try to use the correct ammo. I know some of you might want to use shorts for this. If you're just using shorts, you're probably not going to notice these problems. But if you're using shorts and then long, you're going to damage your chamber and then potentially have to fix it. And for these, if you need another barrel liner, contact us. It's on the website. You can order just a barrel liner if you need to. One of the great things about these, in comparison to like the brake liner some people are using, this is legal. Okay, so that barrel liner needs to be rifled. There are ways to rifle your own barrel liner. Some of them are a little more complicated and expensive than others. But you don't want to do all that. Order from us, order from somebody else. Wherever you get it from, I want you to all be aware of the laws and make sure that your bills are nice and legal so nobody gets their little puppy shot. I got a cute puppy back here somewhere. Really. That guy. I don't want any bullet holes in this guy, so make sure my barrel liners are good. Because alphabet boys don't play. All right, until next time. Keep building and stay safe, stay legal. Let me know in the comments if there's anything specific you want me to touch on. This is what I do. I'm working as a gunsmith for Trollwerks, and in general, before I started working there, I was building these things. I learned about the place because I was a customer, looking for places. Found out he was really close to my house, and met up with him. Saw the job opening and jumped on it. It's the best job I've ever had. Even though it's only 1 day a week and I really don't make any money, it's still an amazing opportunity. But anyway, enough of my crap. Y'all have a good one.